The Mac Mini was always the underdog, the cheap Mac, the entry point. But something shifted at Apple Park recently. They realized that the most powerful things don't need to be the biggest. They realized that the future of computing isn't a tower sitting under your desk. It's a concentrated, hyper-efficient slab of aluminum that can outperform a workstation from 5 years ago while drawing less power than a light bulb. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the most anticipated desktop in Apple's history. The M5 Mac Mini isn't just an upgrade. It is a declaration of war against the traditional PC. Welcome to my channel, Tech Launch. Subscribe my channel and click on the bell icon for the new tech updates. If you are a creative professional, a software engineer, or just someone who wants the fastest computer on the planet without spending $5,000, you need to stop what you're doing. The rumors we've been tracking from the assembly lines in Vietnam and the design labs in Cupertino are pointing to a machine that defies the laws of thermodynamics. We are going to break down every secret Apple is hiding about the M5 Silicon, the radical new cooling architecture, and why this specific Mac Mini is the one that finally makes the Mac Studio irrelevant. This is the ultimate deep dive into the M5 Mac Mini. Let's talk about the heart of the machine, the M5 chip. We've seen the jumps from M1 to M4, but M5 is the first clean sheet redesign of the Apple Silicon architecture since the transition began. Built on an enhanced 2nm process, the M5 chip is packing a transistor density that is frankly terrifying. We are talking about 30 billion transistors in the base model alone. But it's not just about raw numbers. It's about the instruction set. The M5 features the new ultra-thread technology, allowing the performance cores to handle background tasks with zero latency. When you're rendering a 4K video in Final Cut Pro while having 50 Chrome tabs open and a Zoom call running, the M5 doesn't even spin up the fans. It doesn't just handle the load, it ignores it. And then there is the GPU. Apple has been quietly hiring the best graphics engineers from NVIDIA and AMD for 3 years, and the M5 is where that investment pays off. We are looking at a hardware-accelerated ray tracing engine that is 40% faster than the M4. For the first time, Mac gaming isn't a joke. With the M5 Mac Mini, you can run AAA titles at 1440p with high frame rates, something that was unthinkable for a computer this size just a few years ago. But this isn't just for gamers. This is for the 3D artists using Blender and the architects using AutoCAD. The M5 renders light and shadow in real time with a level of accuracy that used to require a dedicated power supply just for the graphics card. But power is nothing without intelligence. We are living in the age of AI and Apple knows it. The M5 Mac Mini features a specialized neural matrix, a massive upgrade to the neural engine specifically designed for large language models. In the USA, where productivity is king, having an AI that runs locally on your desk is a game changer. No more waiting for the cloud. No more privacy concerns with your data leaving your machine. The M5 Mac Mini can summarize a 1,000-page legal document in seconds. It can generate code, upscale low-resolution footage, and isolate vocals from a noisy recording instantly. It's not just a computer. It's a co-pilot that thinks as fast as you do. Now, let's talk about the design because the rumors are wild. For over a decade, the Mac Mini's physical enclosure has remained a largely untouched icon of milled aluminum. It's a classic, but let's be honest, ever since the transition to Apple Silicon, half of that chassis has been literally empty air. The M5 iteration completely shatters that physical paradigm. What we are looking at is a radically shrunken footprint, heavily borrowing from the aesthetic of the Apple TV, but slightly taller to accommodate what is arguably the most fascinating piece of engineering in this entire machine, the new thermal architecture. You simply cannot pack a 2nm, 30 billion transistor die into a box the size of a coaster without fundamentally rethinking how heat dissipates. The supply chain leaks suggest Apple is finally ditching the traditional blower fan setup entirely in favor of a solid-state active cooling system, or at the very least, an advanced micro-vapor chamber. This means no moving parts, no dust accumulati on choking the system after 3 years, no fan whine when you push it to the absolute limit. It is silent computing perfected, delivering sustained performance that refuses to throttle. Then we have the connectivity, which is where the Pro in the M5 architecture really flexes its muscle. We are officially crossing the threshold into the era of Thunderbolt 5. Think about what that actually means for your daily workflow. We are talking about up to 120 gigabits per second of bidirectional bandwidth. You can seamlessly daisy-chain multiple 8K displays running at a buttery 60 Hz. Plug in external NVMe RAID arrays that operate identically to internal storage speeds, and still have bandwidth left over for a dedicated 10 gigabit Ethernet connection. Apple is effectively turning this tiny, unassuming block of metal into the central nervous system for a massive, modular studio ecosystem. And yes, for those of you traumatized by previous iterations placing the power button on the absolute bottom of the chassis, our sources indicate Apple has finally heard the collective groans of the internet. The power button is reportedly moving back to an accessible, logical location. You won't need to lift your entire computer just to turn it on. It's a small detail, but in the premium tech space, the details are everything. But we desperately need to address the elephant in the room: memory. For years, Apple has stubbornly clung to 8 GB of base RAM, defending it with claims of unmatched swap memory efficiency. But here in 2026, with the sheer weight of local AI processing and the neural matrix we just discussed, 8 GB isn't just an insult, it's a critical bottleneck. The M5 Mac Mini finally marks the definitive, undeniable end of the 8 GB era. The base model is heavily rumored to start at a staggering 24 GB of unified memory, featuring a bandwidth pushing past 400 GB per second. Let that sink in for a moment. The entry-level, cheapest Mac on the market will launch with the memory capacity and raw speed that used to be strictly reserved for the highest-tier MacBook Pros. This isn't Apple suddenly feeling generous with their margins, it's a technical necessity. To run local large language models instantly without tapping into slower SSD swap memory, the M5 needs that massive, ultra-fast memory pool sitting right next to the compute cores. This dramatic leap in baseline performance brings us to a fascinating dilemma: the Mac Studio. When the Studio launched, it was the perfect answer for professionals who needed vastly more power than a Mini but couldn't justify the astronomical price of a Mac Pro. But if the M5 Mac Mini is truly this capable, if it boasts Thunderbolt 5, 24 gigs of baseline unified memory, hardware ray tracing, and a thermal system that never breaks a sweat, why does the Mac Studio even exist in its current form? This is the classic Steve Jobs philosophy in action. He famously stated that if a company doesn't cannibalize its own products, a competitor gladly will. The M5 Mac Mini is quite literally designed to cannibalize the entry to mid-level Mac Studio market. Unless you are a high-end Hollywood VFX artist who specifically requires the M5 Ultra chip paired with 192 GB of RAM, the M5 Mac Mini is now the default, undisputed choice for 95% of creative professionals. It democratizes extreme performance. You are getting what was essentially $4,000 worth of computing power just a couple of years ago, packed into a box that fits in your glove compartment. And what about the Windows side of the fence? It's not like the PC market has been sitting completely still. We've watched Qualcomm's Snapdragon X Elite evolve, and Intel's Core Ultra architectures have made genuinely impressive strides in power efficiency. But here is the brutal, unavoidable reality for the competition: molecular-level integration. Intel and AMD manufacture phenomenal silicon, but they do not control the Windows operating system. When the M5 chip allocates a massive background task to the neural matrix, macOS knows exactly how to intelligently route that data without needlessly waking up the high-performance CPU cores. That specific synergy between silicon and software allows the Mac Mini to achieve its mind-bending performance numbers while drawing roughly 15 to 20 watts under a moderate load. A comparable Windows Mini PC is pulling 3 times that wattage from the wall, generating 3 times the ambient heat in your office, and is still likely to throttle after 20 minutes of sustained 4K rendering. Apple isn't just winning the synthetic benchmark wars anymore. They are playing an entirely different game of efficiency. Let's talk about the final piece of the puzzle, because this is where Apple drops the hammer on the industry: the price. Historically, the Mac Mini's greatest weapon was never its benchmark scores. It was its aggressive barrier to entry. Even with the incredibly expensive shift to a 2-nanometer fabrication process, the mandatory move to 24 GB of base memory, and the inclusion of next-generation Thunderbolt 5 controllers, the supply chain whispers suggest Apple is aiming to hold the line at a starting price of $799. If that holds true, the M5 Mac Mini isn't just the best computer Apple makes. It is the most disruptive piece of consumer technology on the market today. It creates an almost insurmountable barrier for any competitor trying to win over the lucrative prosumer market. For $799, you are buying a machine that will confidently edit multicam ProRes footage, compile massive code repositories in seconds, run cutting-edge local AI models privately, and actually play modern AAA games. It makes building a budget Windows productivity PC virtually unjustifiable for anyone outside of the hardcore, custom-loop gaming niche. So, where does this leave us as consumers? We are standing on the precipice of a massive, fundamental shift in desktop computing. For the last 5 to 7 years, the dominant tech narrative has been that laptops have gotten so incredibly good, desktops are essentially obsolete unless you require absolute, uncompromising maximum power. The M5 Mac Mini violently flips that narrative on its head. It proves that there is immense, undeniable value in having a stationary, highly optimized hub that serves as the uncompromised brain of your entire workspace. It's a brilliant reminder that when Apple decides to flex its engineering muscle on its less glamorous, workhorse products, the results are nothing short of spectacular. The Mac Mini is not the underdog anymore. It is the apex predator of the desktop world, hiding in plain sight right there on your desk. Now, I want to hear from you. Does this rumored M5 powerhouse finally convince you to upgrade your desk setup, or are you still holding on to an older Intel or M1 machine waiting to see how the real-world thermal tests actually pan out? Let me know your exact thoughts down in the comments. I'll be hanging out down there reading through your takes and answering questions. If you found this deep dive valuable and want to stay ahead of the curve, hit that like button. It genuinely helps push this to other tech enthusiasts in the algorithm. And make sure you are subscribed to Tech Launch so you don't miss our full hands-on review the very second this machine drops. Until next time, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.